one of the questions was, my product is a book. Should I sell it on Amazon or my own site? If on Amazon, what's the best way to drive traffic to the product? And what's, in general, what's the best way to market a book?
It's not that different from an e-course or from any other product that we're talking about. And it doesn't, like, either you sell it on Amazon or you sell it on your own website, which is basically just, let's say, your payment system, right? The way you market that book won't be all that different. You will still try to communicate about your topic and become an authority in your topic and build your email list so that you can actually contact the people again, and a ton of different ways to market a book. And the question, should you sell on your own site or on Amazon? It's like, well, if you get 20 people a month to your own site, well, nobody will ever find it, and you should probably go to Amazon. Whereas if you have an audience already that you can sell your book through, then maybe you don't need Amazon.
I also think that there's no reason not to do both, right? So if you sell your book on Amazon, you still need to have your own audience and your own website and your own landing page for it. Let me just lay out two scenarios real quick, right? The one is like the hands-off, hopefully passive income, I don't want to be involved approach, where it's like, okay, I have this book, I put it on Amazon, and okay, how am I going to sell this? Well, I have to try and, game the ranking system on Amazon, right? I have to, so probably get some tool that shows me what people search for on Amazon, or I don't know what people use for that these days, but I'm sure that exists. You find your keywords where you're like, okay, when people search for this, I want to show up as a result, and then you do whatever people do on Amazon to get ranked, right? And so you hope that Amazon internal traffic and Amazon search traffic and maybe Amazon recommendations, if your book sells enough, will drive that business, right? Which means you're totally dependent on Amazon at this point. Even if this works really well, you are totally dependent on Amazon. And because when you're doing this, you're buying the tools that tell you how to game the system, you're doing whatever the tricks are to rank higher, you know that there's 1,000 other people doing the same thing. So you're at war with all of those, and all of you are at war with Amazon. Because Amazon, if this gets bad enough, will at some point say, okay, people are gaming our rankings, we're making a change, and then you all get whacked. This is what happens with every system, basically, right? Someone finds a way to game it, thousands of people start gaming it, and then the platform says, enough of this, and makes a rule change. At this point, if everything has been on Amazon, you lose your business overnight. And that's not good. The alternative scenario is that you say, I'm going to write a book, and I'm going to use my own website. I'm going to have at least a landing page for this book, but maybe also I'm going to do some content marketing, publish some posts about this book. I'm going to build my audience on my website. You can still sell it through Amazon. Like Hannah said, you can basically use Amazon like your payment provider, right? But you market it on your site, and you build an audience, you build a name for yourself. And the longer term view of that is that more people will buy your second book, and even more people will buy your third book. And you'll have, a following. Maybe you'll do speaking gigs, maybe you'll do coaching, whatever. You use the book to build a real business and to build a platform for yourself. And that's the kind of approach that we advocate.
And I just saw somebody who said, like, my product is a podcast. And I think it's exactly the same thing, right? So a podcast, yes, you probably put your podcast on iTunes. I mean, we are on iTunes, and we're trying to game the system, and we're trying to get in the Note and Newsworthy. But we're also, if you have a look at our what's the name, notes pages, you will see that you can sign up for the email list, for example, because we want to build our own audience, and we want to make sure that if tomorrow, for one reason or another, iTunes decide that they don't want our podcast anymore, or Stitcher, or whatever other platform for that reason, we don't lose that audience, and we don't lose everything we've been working for. And that's exactly the same if you have like a podcast as a product, or if you have an ebook or a Kindle or whatever as a product.